Good morning, everybody. Can you guess what I'm doing this morning? I'm just about ready. I am making a bread. Did I say I'm making a bread? Are you getting tired of watching me make a bread? I'm not getting tired of making the bread. I'm loving making the bread. So you only got to watch me only if you want to. Only if you want to watch me make a bread, you can watch me. This morning, I have 21 cups of flour put in there because I can't hardly remember how many cups of flour is in a 7-pound bag of flour. That's the one I like to make up, the 7-pound bag of flour. But because I could only get my hands on a big bag, that's the one I bought, the 10 kg bag. So now I got to count out and measure the flour. So I have 21 cups in there. Into that, I'm throwing in a cup of sugar. 1 cup of sugar. We don't want to go too heavy on the sugar when we're having our bread, right? And I'm going to be putting in 3 tablespoonfuls of salt. And these are going to be level. I'm using my salt shaker. 1 and 2 and 3. 3 tablespoonfuls of salt. I'll get it right. You gotta make sure I get it right. Okay, so next, I'm putting in a cup of butter. I'm putting in a cup of butter. Mom used to buy the pound block, and she would cut it right in half. She did, cut it in half. I'm putting in her bread. I can't remember the names of it, and I'm sure that it wasn't pure butter. Maybe it was way back then. Maybe it was butter. Central Dairy's butter, I think I remember using that one. I know that she used to buy the Eversweet butter too one time and just cut that right in half and put that half a pound in her bread. Yes. And let me make sure that I have all my ingredients in it now. I got the flour in there, 21 cups of flour, 1 cup of sugar, 3 tablespoonfuls of salt, and a half a pound of butter. That's what I'm doing, a half a pound, not a half cup, a half pound. All right, now I have my water ready, and I'm going to start making. But first of all, I have to get my hands in there and start rubbing this together. Let's just rub it together. Rub it together, you and I. Yes, we are, is it not rub it together? It's getting things together. Okay, let's get the things together, you and I. Well, we have to get it right, don't we? We have to get it right. We have to get that bread right. And when I make a bread, I don't like to be doing anything else. I don't mind walking, but I don't want my hands into anything else. My bread is a top priority when I'm making it. I will not mop floors when I'm making my bread. No, not till I gets it in the pans. Not till I gets it in the pans. So here we go. I'm gonna try and speed up the process now. Fooling around now. See, I'm fooling around. But I know that I got my ingredients in there. The next thing is now to get that yeast in there. We have to get the yeast in there. And I am using the instant dry yeast. Did I say that before? Because you talked me into this one. You did. You talked me into this one. Because I did not trust it. My sister-in-law used to use it and tell me about it. I did not trust it till I finally got into it and said, I'm going to give it a try. Because I couldn't find the traditional yeast. So I had to buckle down and do it. So I have 1, 2, and 3. And they're not heaping. 3 tablespoonfuls of yeast, and I'll get that through the bread. Let's get that in there. Let's creep it in there, get that in there, and pull up that flour down in under, pull it up through, put your hands down through, and pull it up through. I could make a mess. I've made messes before making bread. Oh, yes, I have. I've made messes. Maybe it's because I was having fun making it. I was having a fun day making the bread. Yes. And now I want to get serious. Let's get serious and start putting our water in it because we cannot add too much water to our bread. Okay, so I have a jug full poured up and I'll throw that in. Now I've done the recipe for this before. So I'm throwing in the jug full right now. And I have more waiting. I have more waiting. So I'm going to work that water down around that dough. Work it, work it, work it. Let's just work it. Let's just work it. When you're making bread, it is work. I won't say it's hard work until if you have aching shoulders, that kind of thing. Because I do find a ache in this shoulder. But that's not the one that I work my bread with. I found a ache in it. I must have been doing something a little bit strenuous. Maybe lefting on those fish trays. Maybe it was helping my husband left the fish trays. He won't let me do it now. Well, we're all done with the fishing. Fishing is over. Fishing is over for the season. So now I'm just going to work this bread, and I'm going to work it. You see, I don't have to do it by measurement. I've made the bread so often that after a spell, you comes in to know your texture of your bread while you're making it. So we're going to work it. And we're going to work it. And we're going to drop some pieces on the table. And if we do and we see it, we'll pick it up. We'll pick it up and put it back in the bowl. And I'm working that just like a machine. And I'm grabbing it, and I'm grabbing it, and I'm grabbing it. And I've got enough water in this now. I got enough water in it. So I'm going to say, Mr. Kettle, would you walk on over out of the way? And so he did that. He walked away. He walked away peacefully. The kettle did. Yeah, I can get a little bit silly. That's okay, I can get a little bit silly. Now I'm going to put in a little bit of flour all around the sides now because my bread is feeling a little bit moist and I don't want it too moist. So now I'm pulling it up. I'm going to pull it up and now I'm going to grab some flour. Maybe that's a half cup. And I'm going to put that down in under my bread and around the sides of the bowl. And I'm going to do the same thing again on this side. Because I feel like I did half the bowl then. And now I'm going to do half the bowl again. I'm going to left it on this side. I'm going to left it, and throw in. Probably another half a cup because I do have a big hand. I do have a big hand. Yes, I do. I got a big hand. Didn't mean to have a big hand, but I do. I had to have big hands. For what I does, I had to have a big hand. But you can do it with a small hand. And pretty strong hands. Sometimes those small hands are. All right. Now, I'm going to shake a little tiny bit over the top. Because when I find my bread, it's a little tiny bit moist. Because I didn't follow a recipe. Don't always take the time out to take a recipe out. But I should. I should. Should I? No way. I'm not taking out a recipe. But for those of you who are just starting, you need to follow your recipe. And after a spell, you're going to get it. And you're going to get it right. Sure, you're going to get it right. And I'm going to rub off this dough because I don't want to see dough around the sides of the pan. I'm going to make my pan a little bit clean looking. And we're going to work that now. We're going to work it. We're going to work it. and we're going to work it. And this is just the way I am. You're getting my bread made. I'm getting my bread made. And you're seeing it made just the way I do it. Yes. And so my bread is still a little bit moist. So I'm going to take this dough off my hands. Even though it's not always a pretty sight. It's not always a pretty sight, is it? Yeah, look at all that dough on your hands. Well, this is my passion. This is my passion. Yes, my passion. Getting that bread right is my passion. My husband got up to make himself a piece of toast, and he tells me, Audrey, I'm taking out the last loaf. I think you need to make a bread today. I said, I'll get right on that. We don't always run out of bread that low. I usually leave it down to 2 loaves, and then I'll make up. Sometimes we might have somewhere to go. We might just get somewhere to go. And if we're running out of bread, I don't feel like going. I want to have my bread made. I want bread caught up on. That's why I make a couple extra loaves when I'm making. Yes. Okay, so this is all I'm going to do with that because I feel like I worked that enough. I worked it enough. I'm going to shake a little bit of flour over the top and give it a little pat so that it's not damp on top. Now, my husband got his butter on the table there, so I'm going to get... I'm getting a spoon, and I got some butter. I got about a tablespoonful of butter there, and I'm going to smear that all over the top of my bread. Now, I'm going to rub that over my bread. Because I'm going in now to tip that over. I'm going to tip this bread over now. I'm tipping it over. And now I'm going to knead it again. I tipped it over, and now I'm kneading it. Now, you can make a smaller bread. You can make a smaller bread. Yes, you can. I'll take the flour again. Take this bit of dough off my hands. I might not get it all off this time because I got a little bit of oil into it. But this is good. This is good. Here we go. We're patting it. We're patting it. We're patting it. We're patting it. Give a little pat on his shoulder, on his shoulder, on his shoulder. Give a little pat on his shoulder. There we go again. One more little shake. Give it that cross and pee. Please rise. And you have a good day, and that's my ending. I'm making up my bread this morning. I hope you had fun watching, because I had fun making.